Oh, hello. And we are back at it again, playing c6 with no matter what they throw at us. We're going into this variation of the Caro-Kann, which is not one of my favorites. Well, why did I pre-move that? Obviously, he's not going to just give up his bishop. That would be nice, but obviously, that's not what our amigo is going for. Let's check where this guy is from. 4 years, 1,300 games. He just made a weak move. That is a weak move, just so everybody knows. And I think this is Indonesia. I don't even know if you guys can see it on the stream. But I know my flags. Let's go. Chess did one good thing in my life. So what do we want to do here? Probably we just want to bring the knight forward. What if we just boom, boom? What you doing about that? That's an idea. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. This guy is rated a little bit higher than us. He is at 1896. And I am at 1848. Because I did just lose a game and then I won a game. So, the road to 1900 is paved with many blunders, as all of you should know. We're going to just get a piece developed. And it's looking like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Just cut off this pin. Now my light square bishop's got a little luft. I do like doing this. It's not necessarily what you're supposed to do every time, but it does avoid a little bit of complexity with this, and just they come over here and you can't get out. So now when I do this, there's no pin and my dude can get out of there at a moment's notice. And he will probably do the same thing. Hard to say what's better, this or this. We're going to go with this. Oh my goodness. Look at this completely symmetrical position. I might even just do this. Excuse me. It's super dry in California right now. It's winter, super cold. Okay, not super cold. Like if you live in Minnesota or something, then hats off to you. But it's a little bit cold. The air is super, super dry, and it's just kind of destroying my throat. Another really strange move. Not what I was anticipating at all. I kind of don't want to commit my king to either side castling because I'm not really sure what our opponent is going for here. So I might just move my queen up one delicate square. So you're going to immediately attack me. I can go here and walk into this. And then this, and then this, and then this. Let's just go ahead and do that. Looks like we might be trading off our dark square bishop for a knight, which isn't what you necessarily want to do, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. The alternative is to get attacked, go somewhere else. Am I seeing things, or can I just... Oh, the queen is defending it. Okay. Okay. I was thinking about this sacrifice for a second. I didn't want to talk about it because I don't want to sound silly. I think we're just going to take. His queen goes to the middle of the board. I can attack the queen, but does that really gain us any ground or anything? Not really sure. But it looks like castling to the queen side is a little bit out of the question right now. So I might just castle this way. Didn't even think about it for too long, but I know I need a castle. Probably castling on this side makes more sense. Our bishop is being attacked. What makes more sense? All the way back or one back? What do you think? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Boom, all the way back. Now this pawn push all of a sudden becomes an idea. Opening up this file. He might actually castle this way. Oof. We might throw in a little tickle to the queen. Just because I can. You can't really take this right away. And I can kind of protect my knight. So this is going to walk into this. But I'll be able to... It would make sense. But now I can take, and then my knight kind of has the opportunity to get out of there. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm moving my mouse around everywhere. I don't think you can actually see it, but I don't like the idea of taking this pawn. But, like, what are the alternatives? Move, move, move. Don't want to go back. So I don't want to go back here. So I think we're just going to straight up take. We then might undevelop this because I still have just bad options of moving forward. None of those options of moving forward make a whole lot of sense. So I think we're just going to do this. And then when I move back, he takes, and then I move my queen back to the starting square. This is not looking good for us, ladies and gentlemen. I am getting a little bit outplayed right now. The only thing we've got going for us is he is not castled. So we're going to go over here, attack this knight. The knight really can't come participate. The knight can only go over here. Wait, no, he can't. What is the knight going to do? He's got to go back. I kind of like that. He was taking like 3 steps forward. It's like, take a step back. You want to defend with the king? That's bold. That's a bold move by our opponent right there. I can also hit him with this check. That doesn't accomplish anything. But this seems more or less reasonable. And now if you take, then that's terrible for you. So yes, this is not super, super comfortable. Fortunately, this bishop is uber defended all the way back here on d8. I got a rook and a rook defending this guy. We're just hanging out like buddies. Pushing. Attack the queen again. Ooh. Scoot back and attack the queen. Queen has to hang on to this. So let's think for a second. I scoot back, attack the queen. The queen basically has to do this. I can then push. But then this comes with check. So I think this backwards knight attack makes a little bit more sense than you would think. I come back. You basically have to move the queen. This even comes with check if I decide to take that. So we're going to scoot back. Probably will see this. I'll take with check. You will take. Is that what we want? No. We come back. You go here. I push. This is defended by the knight. If you take here, I'm going to take here with check. And that's just a big... That's a splash of cold water. Is there something that I'm not seeing? Because you can't just take. That's not a knight, so it's not attacking my queen after that. I think him not castling this move by the king to defend the knight was a risky move. I would have probably just moved the knight back and then repositioned, and then you have better avenues for attack than I do. And so, but now it's looking like I'm going to get to trade off some stuff, potentially. I can even slide this up, and then this is a little defensive maneuver. Like if I get my bishop here and go here, then I got a little structure going on. And his bishop, not doing a lot. Not doing a lot. And if I slide through and take this, then this is also hanging. So let's think about this. He's definitely going to go here. You have to, or I'm going to take this with check. So you go here. I scoot up in your face. If you do take here, I take here with check. Actually, I might take here with check. So that allows me to just grab this check right off the bat. Yes, it does. I can also go check here, then check. So maybe I like the idea of just trading off as many pieces as possible. Here, here, check. Probably there's nowhere good for him to go, really. Here walks into a check. Everything walks into a check. So we're going to just take this first. Okay. He can block like that. Okay, I was thinking like something else. we just fly on in here with check. I might be able to grab this pawn with check. This is definitely checkmate, but I can defend it two different ways. Force the queen trade. Is there something fancier? I can also push a pawn. I can push the pawn. What is smarter? I can for sure just trade the queens. I'm up a knight. I like this. Probably he goes here. Unfortunately, I think we're just going to trade the queens. I'm going to grab this. And then I think... Oh, this is being attacked. Let's not hang my knight that I'm up. My spidey sense are tingling that a rook's going to come here and we're going to have to deal with that. So, what are all the ways that I can defend against that? I can push this. And then that does kind of let my rook get involved. I might do that. I'm not sure that that was the best move. I can defend like this as well. How do we feel about just pushing the pawn? Almost definitely we see that. But if we do, I've got this check. So I think temporarily we're going to do this. That is also some food for thought. Should I just super guard my position on this side of the board? My bishop is doing nothing. My bishop is doing nothing. Okay? But I do like this check. Scoots back. I can go here, then here. He will almost definitely go there. This bishop, I'm up a knight, but then my bishop is making it completely even. I need to trade some pawns. Almost guaranteed. What's the correct move here? We're going to do this one. It protects against this. I might even just throw my knight on that side of the board. Kerplop, just like that. And he's only got two things. But I don't know how to get my bishop. My bishop. I think I basically have to take. Let's just attack that. Whoa, my mouse is acting all funny. I've got 2 minutes, so I do have a decent amount of time. Why is we're going to do this. I'm not sure that that accomplishes a whole lot. We're sliding in. Might even see this. I'm going to grab this pawn. Yes, please. We're going to go back to the open file. We're going to cover that. Jesus. We can grab this. That comes with check. That's terrifying. We're stepping back. Oh, bro. Check. He's up a pawn. I can attack this pawn, and you have to do something about this fork. He's got a lot of time. We take. He gets this. Check. Oh my god, I just crumbled in low time. God damn it. Not even sure anything good is possible. We're just going to lose this pawn. Come back. Oh! What are we trying to do here? We're going to push this. Push this. Please scoot forward. Oh my goodness. We grab this. We're going to then scoot here. Maybe I want to cut off that. Push. The only way to block that is here. You can come here, but I will just take, and then my dude's going to get in. Sorry, I swore. Okay. Here. Here. You got to know your king and pawn endgames. He can't take this pawn. Or mine runs away. Oh my goodness. That was epic. That was epic. There was no hope. There was no hope. I lost all of it. And then I just got so lucky. How did he make that blunder with 3 minutes on the clock? That just goes to show, don't give up. You know what I mean? Just keep fighting. Never resign. I cannot believe that. Let's see what the computer has to say about that performance. I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis. And that game was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, and I'm sorry for swearing, but I realized that my position was completely futile, and then we got some redemption. And so if we slide down here and look at the graph, we see an upside down version of the Bitcoin progression where I am dominating, completely crushing. When he scooted that king up, that was so bad. And then somewhere around here, I hang my rook. I hang my rook with one check, which was terrible. And then he's crushing, and I'm pushing a pawn. We get it to a drawish position, but I'm able to get the dub because I had 2 pawns and he had 1. So let's run through it real quick and just see what happened here. So we play the Caro-Kann. I even pre-moved this, which just lets you know I don't really know what I'm doing here. And so let's get some pieces developed. I even said that this was not a good move. It's the best computer move. So sometimes, pushing these pawns is the best move. Sometimes it's not a good move, and you never really know. But the premise behind it is you have a place to put your bishop when this knight comes forward and attacks. Because if you don't, then the bishop gets trapped and you lose your bishop for their knight, and that's not always comfortable. Second, it prevents this pin. Now, the bad thing about it is it wastes a move moving a pawn instead of developing one of your minor pieces, and then it creates a hook where their pawn can come through, just like we saw in this game. So those are the pluses and minuses of doing that. It also, one other thing, is when you castle, your king has a square to run to, so you won't get back rank checkmated. And you better believe that I've let that happen more than not. And so that's all you really need to know about that little pawn push. So let's see, what are we going for? I moved the queen up 1 square because I didn't really know what else to do. I even thought that this was hanging and didn't see that it was protected. So we grabbed that, we castle, and this is where things got a little bit dicey for both of us, to be honest. This is one of these moves you don't even need to think about it, and my computer is evaluating them exactly equal. So it's like, do this or do this. So that's why I said I spent literally less than a second, because I was like, all right, I got to do something with it. Either of those squares will be fine. And so that's when you need to know, just don't spend a lot of time. My bishop's here. It's got to go to one of these squares. Doesn't make a huge difference with one. Then these are some moves that I used a little bit more time, which you do. So I scoop back to break the pin. Best move, because now I'm free to move my knight later in the game. We bring the rook over because this piece needs to get involved. We put the rook on the open file, semi-open file, and then he scoots up with the king, and this move is completely bonkers. He could have just scooted back with the knight, tried to get active with the queen. In my world, I would have scooted back. I would have scooted back and then just tried to start over, basically. But what he did, you don't want to defend a piece with your king. Definitely not when it's being attacked by something powerful. So now it's attacked by a lot of stuff powerful. And the only thing he can really do is scoot back. He goes for this, and I spent a minute and a half calculating what should we do here. And this is one of these moments. I was like, my spidey sense was tingling. I know this is hanging. I know there's tactics and stuff we can do, and this was it. You bring the knight back, you attack the queen. The queen should have gone here. So you got to get good with your calculation and making the best move for your opponent. These moves weren't as good, so I calculated the best move. Worst case scenario for me, he makes the best move. Best case scenario, he doesn't do it. So we get to trade off this with check, 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 scoot up. And then I saw this, I can push this with a check, but the follow-up was not clear, and this queen right now is defending the checkmate. So I didn't really like this, and the king goes running, and then I got to figure out how am I defending this checkmate. I can move the bishop up, but then here comes this pawn, and in lieu of that, when you can trade the queens only when you're up material. I am up an entire knight, so we go with this defense. It wasn't the best, but I'm absolutely crushing. We can just fast forward a little bit. Even though my bishop sucks, it's okay. We get to make some knight moves. We get to trade a pawn, attack the bishop, some more knight moves. My rook gets active. I grab another pawn, come back to the open file because I basically didn't want his rook to get to the open file. His king attacks. My other rooks are now defending each other, which is super powerful for me. I can even threaten this trade at some point. So I can either do this, and if he doesn't take, I'll take, and if he does take, then I'm in. I would trade one of the rooks. Now here, my slight lapse in judgment, and I spent 5 seconds on this move. Take the pawn and hang, and it's completely even, but it gets worse. It gets worse because I could have came through with check and then grabbed the pawn. I didn't grab the pawn, and that allowed this crazy sequence where I'm just losing. So I could have taken the pawn. I went over here to threaten a pawn. So why would I not just... And the difference with that is it kind of would have prevented all of this because I would have had my rook over here when this stuff took place. So, and that sequence that he found was good. And now I'm just praying. And again, I can grab the pawn. Why am I going to attack pawns when I can take pawns? It's like I'm choosing to take 2 moves to take a pawn when I could take 1. But I've got 50 seconds at this point, so all I've got going for me is these 2 passed pawns. With a hope and a dream, we push the passed pawn. We get the rook out of danger. And now I'm completely lost. Completely. But he makes a mistake. What did he need to do? He needed to get his bishop active somehow, is what he needed to do. He can defend this square with his bishop, so he even could have done something like this, and that would have worked. But I got lucky, and here it's a draw because no matter what he does, basically I'm gonna bring my rook here and get this. So like, say he goes here, I'll come over, and you pretty much have to come back over, and then we're just gonna do it this way, okay? And just trust me, that's gonna happen pretty much no matter what we do. And so I get this, hope in a dream. We trade down. He hangs the bishop for nothing, and now we are in a draw position, but I'm the one playing for a win because I've got 2 and he's got 1. He should have tried to flag me here. So he could have won if he just decided not to trade the rooks. I decided to do this to keep to keep the king away from my beautiful little pawns over here. And right here, this was just a huge blunder. He could have flagged me with 36 seconds. He could have just like made king moves, made rook moves. He could have just like boom, boom, and then started pushing, and we would have had to trade, or I had to get my king involved. He could have done so many different things, and he didn't, because you take, and then no matter what he does, when these 2 pawns are together, he can't take the bottom one, basically. And it can work anywhere. So it could be like 2 pawns here, or 2 pawns here, or 2 pawns here. It doesn't matter. It's the same exact thing. Your pawn will always be 1 square ahead of them. And so if he takes, the pawn runs, and he is just not going to catch it. And so that was the deciding factor of this game. Really, if he chose right here to flag me, like if he would have just played check, and then check, and then check, and then check, and then I'm back here, and another check, and then I scoop back here, and he could have done that, and he would have probably won the game. But he simplified. Don't simplify if you're trying to flag your opponent. And he had 3 minutes on the clock to decide all of that. So an emotional roller coaster of a game, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.